week and a half ago, I got an invitation to go to the Enchantments with a friend of mine. That's pretty short notice for this sort of thing. These permits are extremely hard to get, so I feel very lucky to be invited. I'm only invited because the guys he was originally planning to do it with had to cancel. So he's like, hey, I have 7 permits to fill. Are you interested? And like I said, these are extremely hard to come by. So yes, I'm very interested. It's quite early season. There's going to be a lot of snow. I've got micro spikes, ice axe, snowshoes, the works. This is an experimental trip in many ways. I'm testing out a couple new pieces of clothing. I'm testing up a new shelter setup. I've just got my hammock tarp on trekking poles in order to minimize weight. I've only done that twice before. Once it was because I forgot my hammock, and that went well. And then once was on my thru hike 2 years ago, where I got caught in a horrible thunderstorm on the top of a mountain. You can go watch me talk about that in another video. What else? I only know one person on this trip, just Tyler, the guy who invited me, and a number of other people that he brought along last minute. And we might try to do some peak bagging with Tyler. He's pretty into that. I usually haven't been, but we'll see. It might kick our butts. But I'm going up for 2 nights. I think the plan is to do night 1 at Lake Colchuck, and then go into the core enchantments after that. So I'll do 1 night up there, and then I'll leave. But let's see how it goes. All right, everybody, this is Rob. No, not you, Tyler. This is Rob. Rob has demanded to be on camera as much as possible, and yes, no one else matters. Just Rob. He's great.
Rob's trip.
This is Rob's trip. He's ready to go.
I look like I'm ready to go anyway.
I think so.
Matters.
We are headed up to those far peaks right in the dead center there. Saying that's Dragon Tail?
Yeah, that's Dragon Tail.
All right. It's a shame that Stewart is so far off the core.
Yeah.
You don't have to work very hard to get to some pretty stuff. Oh look, it's Rob.
Second season, there he got offered the Tamarack job.
Hey buddy. I don't have any salt for you, sorry. So the trail we were on forked. We took the left fork. The right fork follows the drainage you see up to Stewart Lake. We are going left to Colchuck Lake. Stewart Lake, I mean, you can see right there, it looks pretty great, but there's not much to go from once you get there. Colchuck is sort of the gateway to the core enchantments, and so we'll be going quite a ways further than the lake we get to tonight. Here's a look back down the drainage we just came up. On the far right, you can see Icicle Ridge in the distance. On the left-hand side, you may be able to make out a bunch of yellow wildflowers dotting the hillside, which is pretty cool.
right there is the waterfall.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Alright, smile, Ken. Say, hooray, we completed the easiest part.
Hooray, we completed the easiest part.
Whew. Yep. Yeah. So this is the view from the lake access by our campsite. Thank you, Tyler, for picking a great one for us. What we are looking at dead center of the camera is the ascent up to Asgard Pass, where unfortunately we will have to go tomorrow. I think Rob said that that's like 2,300 feet of gain. So that will be fun. Off to the right is the chute, and if you look carefully, you may be able to see swirly swirlies, which are trails left by people who skied all the way down. All right, Rachel, you asked specifically for the cooking breakdown because I've been leaving it out recently. This is a dehydrated rice, tomato sauce, chicken, and a bunch of spice mix that's supposed to be tikka masala. Look at that. It's beautiful. We'll give it the first bite. If you gave this to me blind, I would never say tikka masala, but it is very good. 3 stars.
Above Asgard Pass is about 7,800 feet. Colchuck's at.
I'd call this a very successful first day. Well, I always go to these really popular places, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't want to be like everyone else. But I always have this attitude of, I'm sure it'll be fine. But when you come to a place like this and you get very strongly reminded exactly why it's so popular. It is so far really living up to the hype, and again, this is the really accessible spot. This is the spot that's easy to get to. This is the spot that's still just a lake and a basin. I've seen lots of these. When we get up there, then we'll start to unlock some real potential. But good day, a good short day to begin with, so we're not too tired tomorrow before we head up the pass. Good dinner. Good chats. I don't backpack with other people very often. It's nice to actually talk to people. And we'll have to see how my setup goes with just sleeping on the ground. But that is going to be it for day number 1. Good morning and welcome to day number 2. We're just about all packed up, ready to go and ready to try to head right up there.
I'll go this way.
can see the day hikers catching up to us down there. And then we got more sets way near the bottom. Goat number 1. How far do you think we are? 40%?
Yeah, something like that. We're about 900 feet up in the lake.
Just gets better and better. These micro spikes on my boots are a godsend coming up all the icy snow, but it sucks so much to take them on and off and on and off and on and off every time we get to the rocky sections or back to the snow. Come to extended rest stop number 1. It is a doozy. All we have left to do is all of that. Here's marmot number 1, dead center.
What is that, marmot?
These rocks that we're climbing through are just absolutely gorgeous. Someone would be very happy to have some countertops out of these. Goat poop right there. That's fun.
Yeah, it's not good. You gotta trust him. I just like sometimes a little more comfortable spot. All right. Thank you. Nice. Good step. Good step. Nice. Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, big rock.
Big rock. Heads, rub. Good call. Small rock.
Y'all want to take a breather on this ledge right here? We call it this group pass. Great job, guys. You really crushed that.
Good? How's Becca's spikes? This part's pretty gnarly. If she wants bets, I'll bring them.
We've made it to Asgard Pass here. That's where we came from. And here's where we're going. There's Dragon Tail Peak right behind me. Here's a look down into the beginning of the core enchantments. On your right, I think is that Isolation Lake, Tyler?
Yeah.
Isolation Lake, pretty frozen, but it's got that beautiful sky blue meltwater sitting on top of the ice. There we go. Tyler's provided us with Asgard Pass wine. Cheers.
Savory.
Sure, it's better. Hint of an oaky finish. The gorgeous little tarn at the base of Dragon Tail. All right, again, Rachel has been requesting the food breakdown. So you may have seen me eating something similar yesterday for lunch, but what I have is, aside from my snacks, I've got 2 tortillas. These things last forever, which is great. They're pretty light. I have tuna. These tuna packets are awesome. These ones come with little spoons even, so I can dish the tuna out in various, and they're in various flavors. This one's lemon pepper, which I really like. And then what I had yesterday and what I'll have tomorrow are spicy Thai chili, which have varying levels of spiciness. It just depends how much of the little pepper bits, the little chili bits, get into there. I had one once where I had ran out of water and it had several whole chilies in it, and that was a tough experience to do without water. And then I have the little Tillamook cheeses that I'll do 1 per tortilla. I have 2 tortillas and I'll split them in half and run them down. And so this plus my snacks makes a pretty tasty lunch. I quite enjoy it. Dead center there, sort of on the horizon, you can see we're looking deep into eastern Washington. I think we're too far north for that to be by Wenatchee, but I think that's, you know, sort of in that area, area between Wenatchee and the Metho Valley. Just the eastern Washington hills fading into the distance. Goat number 2, clambering down. Or, I mean, for all I know, that's still goat number 1, and he's just way faster than we are and came all the way back up.
Yeah, because I can use my water for, I need some electrolyte.
It's a much closer look at goat number 2. Let's come over to say hi. Alright, goat number 2 has wandered down to those packs that you see, and I think is thinking about eating their packs and going for their food, which is probably not a good thing, because the people those packs belong to are up there.
Belongs to those guys, huh?
Oh yeah.
He's really enjoying the shade. All right, here's goat number 3, which also may have been goat number 2, but the earlier goat number 2 may have been goat number 3. But this is definitely the second goat up on Asgard. Hey, Buckaroo. All right, super long day so far. We got started at like 7:40. We're leaving Asgard at 2:40 and are finally venturing into the core. Although I think right now we're actually in search of just the toilet. But you know what? Can be just as valuable. Didn't expect to see a little ladybug here. I think we're all feeling about ready to call it a day, but we're having a fair amount of difficulty finding a place to set up camp. Which, I mean, it's not a surprise. There's snow everywhere. But we hope to be able to find some little spot. We'll see. That's what we're doing right now. My pack's on, just scouting for sites. After many trials and tribulations, we have found a campsite. Whoop. It's a pretty good one. All right, behind me, spot one. Walking through now, spot two. Here's spot three. And then walking through over here. We have spot four. This definitely won't show up on camera, but in the valley way back there, you can actually see the windmills turning. And up behind us is, well, both of the Annapurna peaks, that one of which we may try to climb. Here's home sweet home for the night. I just have the ground sheet set up. If all goes well, if the clouds cooperate, then I probably won't actually try to set up the tarp, but I'll just sleep with nothing. Well, with a sleeping bag. Ken, what's for dinner?
I got chili mac with beef.
I don't even actually know what chili mac is. Just chili with macaroni noodles?
Yeah,
okay.
macaroni noodles.
That's
with
fair.
beef. Yeah.
What's for dinner, Rob?
I'm gonna go with the chicken Alfredo pasta.
Oh, chicken Alfredo. And Tyler?
Chicken pesto pasta. It
Chicken
looks really
pesto.
good.
We have
Looks like it's
a
good.
pasta theme tonight.
Yeah. You get those carbs.
That's right. I'm having dehydrated spicy chili, which I always add way too much water to, so it kind of just turns into a bean stew.
Hey, look, there's humans on that ridge over there.
Yeah. That used to be our former house.
Forgot to put sugar in the pie. The other one put salt instead of sugar in the pie.
Not a family of cooks, I can see.
I should have done it on Monday.
Tell me about what you're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Saturday before we left.
I'm trying to pay rent that I forgot to pay, like, before I left.
And you have cell signal, but not internet?
No, like, I had like one bar and it disappeared. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm not gonna move my phone.
I can't believe you're doing this now.
Well, money waits for nobody, so,
See if we show up to eviction notice when we get home.
The $5,000 fine and the eviction notice. We are just about to start heading up this way to the peak over my shoulder. Little Annapurna and West Annapurna. We're gonna go to that one. Try and catch the sunset. Which is a bummer because it means that all my stuff that I've been getting to dry in the sun for the past couple hours, I'm just gonna get them all wet again. And then the sun will have set, so I won't be able to get dry for when I leave in the morning. It'll be a good capstone. Action. So that's Asgard Pass. Yeah, we really didn't go far at all. This Isolation Lake.
We're just so tired.
Yeah, and the route finding was just no fun. Demotivated looking for campsites. you will actually follow us looking for salt.
You may.
Makes for excellent photo opportunities. Easy, buddy.
You can close that gap very quickly.
Easy, buddy. I've read the Billy Goats Go. I know.
Oh, there's Adams.
Yeah, I can't see St.
Right
Helens.
here.
So.
Yeah, it's probably behind. It's probably like right behind.
Right now. Yeah, I think you're right. Welcome to the summit of Little Annapurna. Adams, Rainier, Stewart, Dragon Tail, which we considered climbing and frankly wisely aborted, Baker, and then Glacier Peak in the background. And most importantly, the windmills way over there.
Oh, the goat. The goat.
Also a goat. Number 5 or number 6, depending on how you're counting.
Yeah.
One goat, and where is he?
He's like just see him. By the rock crop. To the right.
I'll have to do it in post. Goat 6.
Goat's like, that was a nice spot.
I love finding these little mysteries of erosion, like this hole here. This one, extra mysterious, because it's just full of rodent turds. It's goat hair, and then you can see where they've been pawing at the ground all over there. All right, we are on our way out of here now, because we would like to, you know, maintain some semblance of safety and get back to camp. But what an absolutely worthwhile trip up here. Man. Just the absolute splendor. I think it's a cool shot with both of us. Alright, it's pretty dark under a starlit sky as twilight fades. That's going to be it for day number 2. What an incredible and fabulous day.
Oh, there's a goat.
What's that?
There's a goat. It's the same goat. I dream came true.
That is just stupidly awesome. Things that shouldn't exist. Good morning, and welcome to day number 3. Long story short, we had self-service up here, and turns out my kid is really sick, so I'm gonna be hauling ass back to the trailhead. Try to get home as soon as possible. So I expect a bit less filming today. We can do lots of this where I hold and talk, but very little tripod filming where I'm setting up the camera and walking past it, just to maximize our speed. Today I'm excited to get down into the lower core enchantments. We really haven't come that far from Asgard Pass, and so we're still in sort of the upper core before it drops down in elevation. And I mean, it's a gorgeous area, obviously, but this isn't even really a poster child. We've seen less than half of what the core has to offer. And the most famous part, the most well-known and classically beautiful part of this is still to come. So I'm excited to see that today. Bummer not to be able to stay and experience, but it's pretty darn snowy down there, pretty shady, not very many dry campsites like we were able to find up here, so I'm not too upset to be going straight to the car. Oh man, look at that. And the light just streaming gold on the trees. So look down at Perfection Lake and its basin. Our trail curls around over the left of the lake and then heads right to where that sunshine is to keep going down. Alright, we are gonna glissade down this because I don't see much of a better option, and there's already a nice path for me. We'll see how this goes. It's very, very hard this morning. Very hard. I take my spikes off so I don't break my ankle. Hopefully, now that I'm not wearing my spikes, I don't slide down prematurely, because that would be really awkward. Okay, I would not recommend that plan. When the snow is this hard, ow, that hurt, and I did not have control. But another point again for trekking pole as an emergency glissading tool. It did give me some control and slow me down for sure. So spikes back on, and let's move. And I can worry about my bruised tailbone tomorrow. The patterns that the ice has made on this lake is super cool. Which is another neat thing, actually. Like, it was clearly below freezing here last night. The lake is, the watery parts have a layer of ice on top. I don't think it got close to freezing in our campsite last night, which just speaks to the power of thermodynamics, basically. Heat rises. And so all the cool air, it comes in pools in these lake basins. So if you can camp a little higher up on a ridge like we were, you're more exposed to wind and severe weather. And true, on average, as you increase elevation, your temperature is going to go down. But on the micro scale, if you can get above the lake basin, you're going to be I mean, in some cases, as many as like 10 degrees warmer. It just depends on where you are. Last look at Perfection Lake. And on the far left there is Little Annapurna, which Tyler and I climbed last night. Descending from Perfection Lake, here's our first look down at the really small Sprite Lake area. This is by far the sketchiest snow bridge so far, but the rangers crossed this yesterday afternoon when it was much mushier, so I have to assume it's still good. Early in the morning when it's crisp and frozen, fabulous. Here's a look at Leprechaun Lake at the base of Mount McClellan. Pretty big goat prints, following the exact same trail everybody else is. A look at Lake Vivian, and the way I'll be descending, which I do not like at all. Rather steep, but this is where the boot path is, so here I go. Here's a look into the Snow Lakes Basin and our way out of here. I'm about to lose some major elevation. A few more goats. They are pretty darn fabulous. And boy, they love to just hang out in the campgrounds looking for salt. Doesn't strike me as descent at all to walk on. No. First glimpse of Upper Snow Lake. Now this I did not expect to see. The bridge crossing the two snowy lakes, Upper Snowy Lake, or at least the outlet of it on my left, and Lower Snowy Lake over here, is like an actual dam. I wonder what the history of this is. And you can see a grate down there where water can come out, but I was not expecting a dam here. Take a last look up at Upper Snowy Lake and the core enchantments. It has been a pleasure. This is our first look down at Nada Lake. Narrow, beautiful. I think I'm making pretty good time. It's just about 9 o'clock, a little past that. started at 5:30 this morning. In terms of raw mileage, it's not a very good pace, but given how much of that was over snow and with some route finding and a number of sketchy sections, I'll take it. This is pretty cool, right? So I just showed you Nava Lake, and then there's this ridge here, and just right over the ridge is Lower Snow Lake, and the ridge just acts as a giant dam to hold back all that water. Quick view of, after all that work, what we're still trying to get to. We need to get to the bottom of that valley. It's a long way. You can see the road down there. I'm looking up Icicle Creek drainage. We're not too far now. This neat canal thing that I think is supposed to be a fish ladder, and maybe my perspective's totally screwed up, but it looks like the water's flowing down uphill to me, which is rather strange. All right, I'm crossing Icicle Creek, and we'll have just a quick walk back up to the car. Huge thank you to Ken and Rob for putting up with me talking obnoxiously to the camera this whole time. Big thank you to Tyler for inviting me on this particular adventure and for organizing the whole thing. And most of all, a big thank you to Tyler's original buddies who canceled so that I could be invited as a replacement. Thanks for watching, everybody.